Good afternoon, folks. This is Blavic Shade Floral 2265 coming at you. And I just wanted to state today that I added an extra number to my username because I just felt 226 was a little short and it seemed a little lackluster, a little vacant. It made my username look a little vacant. So I added an extra 5 to it. And I thought that it actually looked quite, it made my username look quite becoming. It appeared quite just really more attractively appealing and sightlier. So, just to reiterate, I will repeat that my screen name, my username, is now Blavic Shade Floral 2265. So I've stated that for you, and now you're in the know. And I ask and hope that it catches on. And let me get on with my discuss. Black female emancipation is considered a validated historical dynamic that really scholastically explains and has relatively to do with the slavery period of African American women of age slavery. But the term Black female emancipation most definitely unravels a debative, compelling argument about the word expression, especially in these modern times, present today. Although often overlooked by scholars in the history of women's suffrage, the issue of Black women and emancipation was determined in January 1st, 1863, by the Emancipation of Slavery, which declared that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are and henceforward shall be free, taking place really between the 18th and 19th centuries during the turn of the Civil War. African American women were promised a new life of freedom with the same rights provided to other American citizens. Because the women of the South had little to no money and limited education with little access to it, racism impacted every area of their active lives. Black women were taught and educated in reading and writing by Northern teachers. Many of them, whom were white women, volunteered to provide education and training for the newly freed population. Basic vocational training by the white women to the emancipated colored women, and their skilled crafts offered the colored woman economic opportunity. Transitioning from enslavement to freedom was difficult and frightening for most Black women who emerged from enslavement. WomenInHistoryBlog.com. The 19th Amendment of August 18 of 1920 is hailed for granting American women the right to vote. How Black women won the right to vote. Time.com. Yet most Black women would wait nearly 5 decades more to actually exercise the right. Vanguard by Martha S. Jones. How Black women broke barriers, won the vote, and insisted on equality for all. Voting rights in the summer of 1920 and its struggle waged alone because the organizations that had led the movement for women's suffrage were disbanding. State-level lawmakers ratified the amendment, which its campaign culminated in August of 1920 in the state of Tennessee, the 36th state to ratify the 19th Amendment. The word ratify defines as to sign or give formal consent or agreement, making it officially valid. To confirm by expressing consent as formal sanction, approving a constitutional amendment. So since I've brought up the discussion of Black female emancipation, I wanted to discuss the movie called The Woman King, starring Viola Davis and other colored actresses of her like. I would like to express an elaboration. While in another vlog, I stated that The Woman King was a letdown, I was actually hoping for good Black dramas to make up the movie office as an event for the year. And when I say dramas, I'm really meaning a date story or romanticist production. And I know The Woman King is a drama, but I was hoping for these sorts of movie categories. Something of some particular colored romance or a good intelligent comedy. Something fascinatingly alluring. I did also share that I waited most of my life for the age of intelligent Black film to come around and ground stable its genre, something I spent most of my life waiting for, trying to recollect and remember for the life of me in order to have something to look forward to, so that there would be something to look forward to. I lost track of goals, such as this over the years, while growing up. So back to my subject at hand, when I discuss Black female emancipation, I am speaking of gendered racism, bordering ethnic discrimination, and the suffrage colored women still face today as a result of it. Since today's day and age of social movements prizes dating these days, its ongoing force is still strong at present. Gendered ethnic racism in today's dating age is hardly new breaking news to the ear in these times, but it is the contest that online daters of today and the morrow experience still. Since the greater populous folds of people's internet are still blinded by the want of profound meets and the at first sight ideal of love. There aren't enough articles in print that discusses the battle of gendered ethnic racism, and I would have liked the idea that there are more people at life becoming aware of this accordance, even if it has to start small before the great wings of the butterfly effect will give the issued subject some wind and momentum for its startling news. Hopefully, it will shape their understanding of the issues of ethnic racism and race experiences by daters and the singled pursuers of the internet and communities online. Millions of daters interact or ignore one another through online interaction. Race and dating has profoundly shaped online connections and our states of being with one another for the age. Even with the existence of gendered and racial stereotypes running amok amongst the users and their highly expectative minds. Stereotypes deprive unsuspecting people of their individuality. Excuse me. That was my ringtone. I'm sorry. I've been meaning to change it anyway, but that was my cell phone ringing. It breaks my heart This especially happens with Black women and men foremostly. And this necessary fact is usually ignored by others who opt out of connecting to them when the picture of them is requested by a highly expectant chatter. Race continues to shape each step of an encounter, an experience at a time. While straight men are 4 times likelier to message a Black woman when they share common interests, although the move is motivated by sexual proclivity, white straight women are twice as likely to respond to white men compared to Black men. As for the experience of white men contacting Black women to chat because of shared common interests, this hadn't been my observation personally, not by my experience. I am from Florida, so in my neck of the woods, white men are actively more prone to connecting with white women for a chat session than they would for a Black woman. And young, potentially attractive or comely Black women are more prone to getting contacted by older white men of maturity or colored peers of the opposite sex at chatting. Males of potentially debatable interest would be nowhere in sight for these sorts of considerable matters of interest. And if a Black woman should consider making an exception for a mature white male, they may face the challenge of sexism. Younger white men of ages 24 to 35, 20 to 35 even, of dateable effect must be looked up and accessed in order to be available for approachal. Though age, money, class, and background are a factor for the Black woman who chooses to pursue. White men are but usually accessed easily by white females. Accessing a white male is a sort of foreboding turf for a Black and African American female, since some single dateable men are self-respectingly gay or bisexual. A woman should always question the possibility of such an issue to dating, since these days I am more awaringly perceptive of why and what my issues had been with it, with correlations to my odds. So I'm gonna cut it short there, and if I feel that there's a need, which I really think so, to come back and to elaborate more on the subject, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm going to say adieu. Tune in for more. Like, comment, share, and subscribe while you're at it. And we tune in for more, and I'll come back with more. So thanks for listening. Thank you for your patience. Adieu. Till then.